What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Bugs' DCS Cruise. For this one, I'm going to give you guys a no bullshit, down and dirty how-to look on how to get the Granelli Designs F-22 Raptor mod up and flying. So I'm going to go over two different things in this video for you guys. That's going to be the control mappings, because they can be a little confusing, and the cold start procedure. So let's jump into the jet, and then we'll take a look at our controls. So as you guys can see, we're in a cold and dark F-22. So let's go to our adjust controls and our F-22 module. We'll start with our axis commands here. So there are a few things I want to point out. You guys are used to seeing certain things. This is pretty straightforward. The older directions, if you guys are seeing those, you guys don't have the most up-to-date version of the F-22. So I'll put a link in the description of this video for the download for the current version of it. Keep up with it. It is definitely well worth it. Before we go any further, I do want to say you will need the Flaming Cliffs F-15C at least to run this. If you don't have that, I highly recommend you guys get that. It's a fun module to fly. It's a fun jet to fly. Eagle Dynamics does run sales quite often, to be honest, on their site, and you guys could go pick it up for quite a hefty discount. So if you want to fly the Raptor, you gotta get the Eagle. The other side note with that is there is a known bug. I don't know if it's been fixed ever since, but I still do it anyway out of habit. Is you have to load the F-15 first before you load into the F-22. This way it'll populate all its avionics, displays, etc., etc. I don't know, it's a coding thing. That's not my wheelhouse. I just know how to fly them and enjoy flying them. If it's been fixed, awesome. If not, jump into the F-15 first, load the mission, and then let it populate, escape out, and then jump into the F-22, and you guys will be good to go. So, with all that being said, let's take a look at our controls that we need mapped. So for our axis controls, there's not that many, so we'll start with our rudder pedals, and we're going to obviously need our rudder. And then F-22 wheel brake left, F-22 wheel brake right. For our joystick, we're going to want pitch and roll. Like I said, if you guys don't see the exact display like this, then you guys do not have the correct version of the F-22. Let's move over to our throttle. We have our TDC slew, horizontal and vertical, and our thrust left and right. I also have a zoom button set up, so it is helpful. If you guys have the extra button to do it, highly recommended. And then our mouse is just our standard camera affair here. Now let's jump into the meat and potatoes. That's going to be all but axis commands. So with the F-22, you do have the thrust vectoring capability with it. You just have to know how to engage it. So If you guys are familiar with or fly the Su-57 mod by Cuban the thrust vectoring is activated in a certain manner. The F-22 is very much the same way, and you have to activate it in a different manner. That's where our different modes for our 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 7 keys come in play. So your navigation mode, close air combat vertical scan, air-to-air BVR, combat bore sight, and air-to-ground. Those are the ones I have mapped. I will show you what I'm talking about once we get the jet fired up on the little display that we have, where you'll know thrust vectoring is enabled. So make sure you guys have those commands set. Your weapon release, you can use that to shoot missiles, drop bombs. Your target designator, up, down, left, right, to center, if you guys have the capability to do it. Your trim, your weapon trigger detents first and second, if you guys can. Your target lock is another one you guys are going to need. So when you slew your radar around, you hover over it, you press that button, you lock them up on radar, which you guys have seen me do numerous times. Your weapon change, so you can cycle between your different air-to-air or air-to-ground weapons, etc., etc. Your cannon. A nice one to have is the audible warning reset. So when the jet starts squawking that you're doing something that it really doesn't like, or you just want to not listen to any of the warnings going off, that's a nice one to have on the fly. Your radar on and off, you guys are going to want. Your RWS, TWS mode select, that's another good one to have. Return to search is another handy one. Your air brakes, obviously, for your flight controls. Your chaff and your flare dispense, that's a must. Your radar zoom in and zoom out, or your display zoom in and zoom out, you guys are going to want that one. And now we're going to jump into a couple of things that are pretty specific to the F-22. And before I forget, you're going to also want your canopy open and close mapped just as well. That'll help out quite a bit. Your parking brake and your landing and air-to-air refuel stuff, that's all optional. This is just enough to get the jet up in the air and flying. So we have our flaps. Another one that's handy is your master arm, your toggle for that, and your nose wheel steering. The F-22 does use the F-15 flight model, so the nose wheel steering functions exactly the same that the F-15C does. Just keep that in mind. So for you guys that have a good HOTAS setup or whatever setup you guys have that works, make sure your nose wheel steering is engaged so you guys don't run into any trouble later on down the road. So we have our flaps up and down. And then what we're going to need is our battery on off, our APU start, our left engine start, right engine start. You guys can map the stop buttons as well. And then your left and right generator buttons. So I have those set to toggle switches on my throttle. As you guys know, I'm using the Warthog throttle for the time being. You guys set it up how you see fit and whatever works for you guys. Feel free to pause, go back, rewind, check out the different controls just to get the jet started up and ready for takeoff. So now what we're going to do, we're going to jump into the cockpit and we'll go through the pre-start and then we'll start the jet up and go from there. And the other piece I forgot to mention was our landing gear, so don't forget that. The cool thing about the F-22 is it actually is a full fidelity cockpit, even though you do need the flaming cliffs airplanes, which are non-clickable, as you guys know. The F-22 is. You can use your mouse to manipulate the controls as you guys need, so don't get too bummed out about that if you don't have 1001 buttons on your setup. You can use your mouse as you see fit. Alright, so for our startup, what we're going to do is we're going to go battery on. There's our HUD display. You see our center DDI flicker here and there. So now we're going to hit our APU start. It's going to make all sorts of jet noises and do its thing. Then we're going to start getting displays coming up. We're going to be looking at this one in particular right here. That's going to tell us when we're ready to crank our engines over. So you can drop the APU down to ARM. And there we go. APU spool. Okay, so it just changed to APU ready. So now we're ready for engine start. So what we're going to do is we're going to crank our right engine first. Our number 2. We'll watch our gauge here, here, and then we'll see our lights extinguish up here. So let's crank number 2. There she goes. Alright, oil pressure's coming up. EGT is coming up, RPM's coming up. The high pressure's up. Let's turn our right generator on. Now we have our display here, 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 and the steady one here. Okay, our right generator light is out. Let's crank the left engine. Same thing. Here comes our oil pressure. EGT is coming up. RPM's coming up. Rinse and repeat from number 1. Or from number 2, rather. I'm sorry. And then we're going to see that go out. And then our left generator. Let's turn that switch on. Our left generator's online. Oil pressure light went out. Okay, we got 2 good starts. Now let's shut our APU down. Scrolling down, that light's gonna go out. Alright, let's close our canopy. Okay. Now we got both engines running. The generators are online, canopy's down. Now you guys can hear me a little bit better. So from here, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go to a quick external view, and you guys are gonna see that our weapons bay doors are all open. I'm gonna show you guys how to close those to get ready to go. So you guys see all the weapons bays open right now. Not very F-22-ish. So from here, what we're going to do is our center DDI down here, down low. You see the ground override is yellow. The OBS 17, or OSB 17 button rather, I'm sorry. You're going to press and hold that for 3 potatoes, and then let it do its thing, and then it'll go green. 1 potato, 2 potato, 3 potato. Release. Okay. Now if we go back to an external view, the weapons bays are closed. Alright. That's how you close those down. So let's walk through the rest of our pre-flight. I'll come back to this display momentarily. Our center one here, this is going to be our radar screen mainly. So here's our configuration menu right here. You guys can change whatever little things you want there. If we go to TID, there's nothing there. If we go to RDR, our radar, that's what we get. We'll come back to that. Okay, SYS, our system placeholder, nothing there. And our SFM, that's what we get there. Okay. So the way I usually set this up, guys, nice and easy. I'll put our radar display in our center here. Let's come back down to our DDI underneath. You can use the select keys to select your different weapon bays. Normally I'll select all. This way you can cycle through with your weapon select switch, which I'll show you guys right now. So if we come up to our left DDI, let's go to our SMS page. You see our weapons, so all are selected. Now I can toggle through our 9s or our 120s as I would like. Okay. So now we're ready to go. The jet's started. All you guys have to do now is taxi out, go over to your runway, and take off, and then have fun from there. Just remember the nose wheel steering is exactly the same as the F-15s. I hope you guys really found this helpful. If you have any questions about the F-22, please leave a comment below. I'll be more than happy to help you guys out. Download link for the F-22 in the video description. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe for more, and until the next sortie, strap in, arm up the seat, and keep flying.